News at noon. Coming up after the break, these are the stories that we are tracking. Troy Resources looking to buy gold ore after mining out primary pits, says management. ExxonMobil said it will not recover $30 US flaring charge, says EPA. GGMC prosecutor caught in a police sting operation accepting bribe claimed he borrowed the money. Retired officers and others charged for $10 million police fraud. And couple robbed by 15-year-old and accomplice. Stay tuned to stay informed. Australian-owned Troy Resources Inc. says that as the company faces temporary closure later in the year as a result of the depleted ore being obtained from its primary mining pits, it is currently exploring purchasing the feedstock for its mill from third-party miners. The company stated that in the interim, Troy is exploring the availability of third-party ore for toll treating or other opportunities and said there is nothing further that can be reported at this stage. It reported that gold production for the month of April was 2,140 ounces, while the production forecast for the months of May and June are 2,400 and 1,909 ounces. The company said that its production rate is on track to realize at the end of June 2021 that should be, an average 2,200 ounces per month for the year. Meanwhile, the Environmental Protection Agency clarified yesterday that ExxonMobil's subsidiary Esso will not be recovering the $30 per ton charge, which it will be made to pay for flaring of carbon dioxide equivalent beyond May 13, 2020. The regulator said this much was indicated by ExxonMobil during discussions that were recently had on modifications to the environmental permit for the Liza Phase 1 operations. The statement by the agency comes on the heels of an article which Kaieteur News carried on Sunday, which exposed that the stabilization clause of the Stabroek Block Production Sharing Agreement states that if the government imposed any new charge, tax, or levy of any kind after the deal was signed in 2016, then the company shall be compensated by the government. Now we tell you, a prosecutor attached to the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission was caught in a police sting operation accepting bribe money from a gold miner, has claimed that he borrowed the money from the man. Sherwin Crandon, 44 of George Street work in West Georgetown, was on Wednesday arrested at a popular bar in Station Street, Kitty at 16:30 hours by the Guyana Police Force during a sting operation after acting on information which they received. The money was displayed and photographed in the presence of the suspect and then lodged at CID headquarters. The suspect is currently at the Brigham Police Station pending charges. Current Chairman of the Police Service Commission and retired Assistant Commissioner of Police Paul Slow, along with several other retired high-ranking officers of the Guyana Police Force and members of the force, were yesterday slapped with a joint conspiracy to defraud charge. One of the defendants was also slapped with an individual misconduct in public office charge. Among those charged are retired officers Assistant Commissioner Clinton Conway, Assistant Commissioner Claude Whitaker, Senior Superintendent George Fraser, Senior Superintendent Michael Sutton, and Superintendent Mark Gilbert. The joint charge alleges that they conspired together with others to defraud the Guyana Police Force of $10 million. A man and his girlfriend were robbed by two bandits on Wednesday while walking along James Street, Old Boys Town, Georgetown. According to a police report, the couple was approached by two individuals, one being a 15-year-old juvenile on a bicycle at 22 hours. One of the suspects then pulled out a handgun from his waist and demanded valuables from the woman, to which the woman obliged. Her boyfriend then reportedly entered into a scuffle with the second suspect, who was alleged to be 15-year-old, when the first suspect discharged some rounds towards the victim. The two then escaped with one gold chain valued $35,000 and one cell phone valued $17,000. While the juvenile was apprehended, the police then continued their checks for the second suspect but were unable to find him. No one was injured during the incident. Investigations are currently ongoing. It is now 12 hours 14. Coming up after the break is Mayor complains of exclusion from nationwide 55th anniversary cleanup. Edgehill says was not intended and willing to apologize. Aircraft with suspected cocaine cargo makes emergency landing near Oriala. Brazilian pilot and passenger detained. Meanwhile, AGM secret contract. Guyanese pay 3.5 times higher fuel tax than foreign company. And Commissioner of Police orders swift investigation into Headley's killing. Cops involved on open request. City Mayor Yubraj Narain has raised concerns about the government's nationwide planning of the 55th Independence Anniversary cleanup, from which he said the Georgetown Mayor and City Council was excluded. While Minister of Public Works Juan Edgehill said that he is willing to apologize by what was an unintended exclusion. When contacted about the alleged exclusion from the meeting, Minister of Public Works Juan Edgehill said that the Special Projects Unit of the ministry was instructed to send out invitations to all relevant stakeholders and municipalities, Georgetown included. He noted, however, that when checks were made to confirm that the invitations were sent out, it revealed that the team may not have done as they were instructed to do. As such, the minister said that he is willing to offer his apology to the municipality and hold another consultation to include the city council. The pilot and lone passenger of an aircraft that made a forced emergency landing on an open space near the indigenous village of Oriala have been detained by ranks of the Guyana Police Force following a search of the aircraft that unearthed cargo containing suspected cocaine in the aircraft. In police custody are Andre Luis Pereira and Salem Nobrega de Alencar, both Brazilian nationals. It was unclear up to press time which man was the pilot and which was passenger. Police disclosed that on Thursday, 20th of May at about 16 hours, they discovered the green and white aircraft bearing registration number PTSRR that had landed in Oriala. A search of the said aircraft revealed several wrapped packages suspected to be cocaine in the body of the aircraft. The police and the passenger were subsequently detained and the joint services were dispatched to the location to conduct further investigation. Now let's tell you, Guyanese are currently paying 3.5 times as much on fuel taxes than foreign-owned company Aurora Gold Mines, according to provisions of the company's contract originally signed by the Canadian parent company 10 years ago before it sold out to a Chinese company. Guyanese, including local miners, are subjected to a standard excise rate of 50% on Fuel 1 that was last revised downwards to 35% on February 18th in order to cushion against the higher fuel prices on the world market to be reverted again when prices rebound. In contrast, AGM, according to a provision in their contract, pays only 10%. The excise duties on petroleum products are charged on items such as diesel, gas, lubricants, and other oils, all of which are required in gold mining operations presently. Under the provisions of AGM contract, the company is provided with the reprieve where it shall pay a partial excise tax of 10% on fuel, diesel, gasoline, lubricants, and other oils from the date of the commencement of production by the company. At this time, we tell you, Acting Commissioner of Police Nigel Hoppy has ordered that the Police Office of Professional Responsibility conclude a swift investigation into the killing of Peter Headley and the results made public. This publication was reliably informed that the two cops are currently on open arrest. According to the initial police reports, Headley was shot by one of the ranks while he was being transported in a car carrying number plate PVV 1771 to the Providence police station located on the east bank of Demerara. He was reportedly arrested along with another man now known to be Rondell Daly around 20:45 hours at Nandi Park, East Bank, Demerara. Daly is currently in police custody at the Providence police station pending charges. An autopsy done on Headley on Monday at the Georgetown Public Hospital mortuary revealed that Headley died from perforated lungs from a single gunshot injury. The Police Office of Professional Responsibility has launched an investigation into the matter. According to a police report, two pastors ages 33 and 36 were attacked by two bandits on a black motor vehicle around 14:45 hours while heading to the Nerva supermarket located on Sheriff Street, Georgetown. The pillion rider had reportedly dismounted the motorcycle and pointed a gun at them, demanding that they hand over all their belongings. At first, police stated the pastors refused to comply. The bandit then reportedly took aim and shot at them but missed his target. After the round was discharged, his victims handed over all they had to the gunman. The pastors told police that the bandits carted off with a total of $5,000 in cash, one iPhone 12 Max Pro, their bank cards, ID cards, and NIS card. According to Worldometer, the worldwide coronavirus cases are now at 166.1 million, whereas deaths are at 3.4 million, and in the case of recoveries, 146.9 million. Locally, the Ministry of Health yesterday recorded 136 new COVID-19 cases, taking the total number of Guyana's confirmed cases to 15,743. 19 patients are currently in the COVID-19 ICU, 6 persons are now in institutional quarantine, 99 in institutional isolation, and 1,823 in home isolation. Additionally, a total of 13,453 persons have since recovered, while a total of 349 persons have since died after testing positive for the novel coronavirus. Meanwhile, a breakdown of new cases per region shows that Region 4 leads with 77 new cases, Region 6 with 15, Region 3 and Region 9 with 13 each, Region 10 with 12, Region 5 with 4, and Region 7 with 2. That just about brings us to the end of our news at noon, but before we go, let's head over to the page 7, which is dedicated to being blunt. As this paper has been exposing, the provisions of secret contracts in the extractive industries do not only rob this country of much-needed revenue, they also set local players in those industries at a significant competitive disadvantage. If something is good for the country, if it is fair to all involved, there is no need for it to be secret. There needs to be greater transparency in the extractive industries to prevent the robbery and disadvantage that has been taking place. That just about brings us to the end of your news at noon. I am Kayla King. Thank you for listening.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on